All right, we're diving into a really intense story today. It's an anonymous, first-person account from a man who says he made a deal with the devil. And this isn't presented like some old myth. It's told as a direct testimony. It's meant to be a chilling warning, so let's just get right into it.
So, right from the jump, you need to understand this whole story is framed as a warning. The guy telling it isn't looking for any kind of fame. He just wants to get his message out, a message from a life he claims he actually lived, for anyone out there who might be thinking about going down a similar road.
So how does a story like this even begin? You might be picturing ancient spells or some family history of occult stuff, but no. It starts with a feeling I think a lot of us can understand, just this intense, desperate ambition.
He was from a poor family and was just consumed by the need to escape that life. He felt like without money, without status, he was basically invisible. And that hunger for wealth, it became a total obsession, one that pushed him to think about a really unthinkable way out.
You know, he didn't have some ancient spell book or an expert guide. He kind of just went for it. He walks out to a crossroads in the middle of the night, calls out Satan's name again and again, and gets nothing. Total silence. It was a complete anticlimax. He felt like an idiot, went home, and figured that was the end of it. It wasn't. Not even close.
So the response to his call, it didn't come with, fire and brimstone like you'd see in the movies. Instead, it showed up with this chilling level of sophistication. It didn't present itself as a monster, but as a perfect gentleman.
A few days go by, and this super nice luxury car pulls up to a bar he's at. Out steps this impeccably dressed, handsome guy who just watches him. The very next day, the same man shows up at his job, a battery factory, and whispers this simple, terrifying message. "We are here listening to your call." And you want to know what makes it even creepier? When he asked his coworkers about the visitor, nobody else had seen him.
So, sitting inside that luxury car, the young man starts asking about God and hell. And the response he gets? It is a masterclass in manipulation. The entity just laughs and completely reframes the whole story of good versus evil. He paints Lucifer as this benevolent architect who just wants people to be happy and enjoy life. And God? He's painted as this cruel master who uses fear and suffering to control his followers. It's a sales pitch designed to just completely tear down his moral compass.
Talk is cheap, right? Well, this is where the proof comes in. The man hands him a black briefcase, tells him to open it when he gets home, and inside is the equivalent of 500,000 Brazilian reais in cash. The only instruction? Enjoy it. This was that first irresistible taste of the life he'd been dreaming of.
Okay, so with that first taste of luxury, our guy's hooked. But that briefcase? That was just a down payment. The real transaction, the formal signing of the contract, was about to go down in a way he never, ever could have imagined.
One night, a woman just appears in his bedroom. She's described as stunningly beautiful, almost impossibly alluring. She introduces herself as Imputaza, the administrator of his contract. She's there to get his signature.
And this just perfectly shows the switch from seduction to pure horror. She seduces him, and he describes it as the most amazing physical experience of his entire life. But then, in an instant, she transforms. He sees that her feet have become golden hooves, and as she bites his finger to draw blood, her teeth look like a shark's. She uses his own blood for him to sign this weird, foul-smelling paper. The pact was sealed.
So the contract is signed. The deal is done. But this wasn't just about money anymore. This was his initiation into a secret world. A family, as they called it, that he now belonged to, whether he liked it or not.
About 40 days later, he gets summoned to a meeting at this huge multinational corporation. And there, they hand him a bank card and a statement. A new account's been opened in his name, and inside it, 5 million reais. And they tell him, this is just the beginning.
And just like that, his life completely flips. He's made a director at the company, he's brought into a Masonic lodge, and he's given access to the absolute highest levels of power. He claims he had influence over politicians, business leaders. He was living a life of unimaginable luxury and was even dating a famous actress.
So his new life takes him to this masked orgy at a remote mansion in London. In the middle of the whole ritual is this one woman. After it's all over, her mask comes off, and it's his famous actress girlfriend. She leans in, kisses him, and just whispers, "You're not the only one with secrets." That's when he realizes just how deep this all goes.
For years, he lived this life of power and total excess. He had everything he had ever dreamed of. But, every deal has a final payment. The story was building to its absolutely horrifying climax. Eventually, he gets tired of how empty it all feels. He meets this good, religious woman. He actually falls in love, and they get married. They have 2 sons. He builds this picture-perfect family life, on the surface, all while secretly keeping his other identity as a high-ranking member of this demonic organization.
And then, one day, a leader from the organization pays him a visit. The message is simple, and it's monstrous. To prove his ultimate loyalty, to prove his love for his master, Lucifer, he has to sacrifice his own son.
This was it. This was the breaking point. He realizes that being a father had actually changed him. He couldn't do it. There was no way. In that moment of clarity, he refuses. He confesses everything to his deeply religious wife, and together they decide they're going to break the pact and try to find redemption through their faith.
He thought turning back to God would save him. He started going to church, donating all his diabolical money to charity. But breaking a contract with a legion of demons, it's not like canceling a gym membership. The collection process was swift, it was methodical, and it was unimaginably brutal.
Just look at this timeline. A mere 3 weeks after he breaks the pact, his wife is kidnapped. 2 weeks later, her body is found, dismembered, used in the exact kind of ritual he used to be a part of. Shortly after that, both of his young sons get sick, and on the drive to the doctor, a car crash kills both of them instantly and leaves him paralyzed.
And the physical pain was only part of it. He's now haunted by these demonic whispers, this constant chilling reminder of the deal he made and the debt they are now collecting, piece by piece. They promise him this is just the beginning and that they're just waiting for the day they finally come for him.
And this is his life now. He lost his family, his fortune, his health. He's in a wheelchair, tormented by what he calls shadow demons and a guilt that's so deep he actually wishes for death just to escape it. He is, in his own words, a living warning.
So whether you take this as a literal, factual account or as a powerful metaphor, the story leaves us with a really haunting question. As we all chase our own ambitions in life, it forces us to ask ourselves, what price is truly too high for our dreams?